In this video, I'll be attempting to survive 100 days in hardcore Minecraft. My goal is to build a super cozy underground base with everything we'll need to survive. So without further ado, let's get started. Kicking it off on day 1, I spawned in a savanna biome where I instantly spotted a shipwreck. Before heading over to it though, I gathered a bit of wood as well as cobblestone and then made some basic tools along with a furnace and boat. With the essentials taken care of, I took a journey into the ocean and went full on pirate mode. And this shipwreck we found actually had pretty good loot. The first chest had a couple coast armor trims, a ton of food, and some basic leather armor. And the next one had a buried treasure map. And in the last chest, I found some emeralds and iron. Pirate mode is pretty fun, so I wasted no time hunting down the treasure using the map we found. And just like that, we have diamonds on day 1. Can't get much better than that. And the Minecraft gods continued to bless us because just as the sun was beginning to set, I ran into some sheep, so I was able to make a bed and sleep away the night before any scary mobs spawned. On the start of day 2, I spotted a village, and right away I found a bundle, which is pretty nice since it instantly fixed my cluttered inventory problem. And with that sorted, I grabbed anything else valuable that I could, like a saddle and brewing stand. The first step in building our underground base is digging a giant hole. But while we work on getting better gear to speed up the process, I decided to set up shop in one of the village houses. I also geared up a little by crafting a shield as well as an iron pickaxe and shovel. After that, I got completely distracted taming a donkey, but I couldn't resist since we did find a saddle. I then went around the village and grabbed some of the hay bales since we can use them to make bread, which will be a great early game food source for us. With that out of the way, I chopped down a couple of trees and then mined some surface level coal that I spotted. I then crafted a bucket and grabbed some water. I couldn't think of anything else super important that I needed, so I began mining. I first found a bit of copper and then made my way over to a larger ravine that was running through the village. In the ravine, I found more coal and iron, and then I made my way deeper into the cave system. I spotted a larger opening below, and despite there being at least 5 or 6 creepers and a bunch of other mobs, I decided to send it. It got a little dicey at times, but I clutched it up and took out all the mobs. With those taken care of, I continued mining more coal as well as copper. I ran into a bunch of skeletons that shredded me down to just a heart and a half. To make things worse, my shield broke mid-fight, which almost gave me a heart attack as I scrambled to dodge the still incoming arrows. Luckily, I managed to run away before I died. Despite the near-death experience, I wasn't ready to give up on mining just yet. But before going back, I started smelting our iron, made a new shield, and crafted a chest plate with the iron once it was ready. We're still severely under-geared, but at least we're a bit more protected. I managed to get safely past the area where we almost died, and I even found some dripstone, which is great since we can make a lava farm if we want to now. I also found my first lapis, redstone, and even better, more diamonds. I also found a spider spawner, but the loot wasn't too crazy. No worries though, since I continued mining and ended up finding a few more diamonds. As I was mining, my pickaxe broke, so I made a brand new diamond one. And since I had a decent amount at this point, I also made diamond leggings and boots. I really don't think my cardiovascular system can handle going down to a heart and a half again, so hopefully this will help with that. Feeling more confident, I spent the next 2 days mining as many diamonds as I could find. As I kept finding more diamonds, I stopped along the way to upgrade my armor, eventually getting to the point where I had full diamond gear with a few left over to craft myself a better sword. This cave has been pretty generous to us so far. We're already making insanely good progress. While we were down here, I also took the opportunity to mine some obsidian. And I went ahead and grabbed enough for both a nether portal as well as an enchanting table. And I couldn't help myself, so I continued mining more diamonds after that. I swear I'm not addicted to the blue stuff, I just want enough for a full set of tools as well as an enchanting table. That's all, I promise. By the time I got all the diamonds I was after, it was already day 9. But with that, I finally made my way back up to the surface. We barely survived that one, but it somehow worked out in the end. After getting back to the village, I organized my items, and here's a look at everything that we got. Using some of our remaining diamonds, I made an axe and shovel to finish off our diamond tool set. After that, I raided one of the villager houses for a lectern, and of course, all the books. Using those, I crafted a second lectern and then got to work rerolling trades with villagers. My goal was to get both an Efficiency 5 and Unbreaking 3 book for our pickaxe. Digging a giant hole without a beacon already sounds intimidating enough, so at the very least we need those 2 enchants to make it bearable. I got an Efficiency 5 trade pretty quickly, but it took me nearly 2 entire days of rerolling trades to finally get an Unbreaking 3 one, which was kind of painful. Something else that's kind of unfortunate is that we don't have nearly enough emeralds to buy them. Peak villager experience, honestly. Complaining aside, we should be able to get emeralds fairly easily by trading wheat with a farmer and sticks with a Fletcher. And I felt like sticks were probably the easier option, so I spent the rest of the day chopping down trees to get a bunch of wood. So yeah, sorry trees, it's for the greater good. I turned all the wood into sticks and traded them for a bunch of emeralds. I was pretty sure I had enough to finally grab that Efficiency 5 book, but of course, the villager had somehow reset and was offering a completely different trade. So it was back to rerolling. He eventually ended up offering me an Efficiency 4 trade, and I was about to crash out from breaking and placing down the lectern, so I caved in and just bought 2. We can combine them, so it'll work out fine. We're definitely going to need more emeralds for that Unbreaking 3 book, so I converted another villager into a Fletcher and traded every stick that I could. And that ended up giving me a little over a stack of emeralds. More than enough, but of course, this villager also decided to randomly lose their trade. I honestly can't believe how much of my life I've spent breaking and placing down lecterns at this point. And just like last time, after way too many rerolls, he offered Unbreaking 2, so I gave up and bought 2 copies. In order to combine all the books and add them to our pickaxe, we're going to need an anvil. So I made more furnaces and then began smelting the iron we got down in the mines earlier. And while waiting, I killed some time by cutting down both oak and birch trees. I also found some firefly bushes, so I picked those up too. And I couldn't help but get distracted getting even more greenery blocks like bushes, vines, and flowers. I went home after that, and the iron was all done smelting, so I crafted an anvil and then combined all of our enchanted books. Finally, I added the enchanted book to our pickaxe. With a proper tool in hand, I hopped on our donkey and set out on the search for an epic spot for our underground base. And conveniently, I found this weird looking cliff less than a minute away from the village, which I think will work perfectly. There was even like a natural moat, which is seriously such a vibe, so I made a simple oak bridge over it and then began digging a hole for our base. I then spent the next 3 days mining away. Pretty mind-numbing, but kind of in one of those grindy, nice ways to be honest. We got a decent chunk done, and I would have kept going, but my pickaxe was about to break. I ran back to the village, crafted a new diamond pickaxe, and tried to use it to repair our enchanted one, but of course, I didn't have enough levels. My next best idea was to try to get a mending trade, but it turns out there were no unemployed villagers left. To try and get the villagers to breed, I harvested some wheat, turned it into bread, and divided it out amongst them. I also ran around shearing sheep so I could make more beds. And after placing them down, hopefully that's enough to get some baby villagers running around soon. I eventually spotted a couple of the villagers doing their thing, and once the micro villager popped out, I did what I do best and chopped down more trees so we could get more sticks for emeralds. Looks like we got a second baby villager when we were in deforestation mode, which is pretty nice. What was not so nice is that I was nearly out of food at this point, so while we continued to wait for them to reach adulthood, I ran around like a madman with some flint and steel, instantly cooking every animal on sight. Perhaps a little inhumane, but it's such an easy way to get a bunch of food in the matter of minutes. With a decent supply of food obtained, I went back to the village and traded more sticks for emeralds. One of the babies had also grown up, so I started rerolling trades with him in the hopes of getting a mending book. I broke it so many times that my axe had no more durability, so I had to make a little detour to make an iron one. But after rerolling for most of the day, I got a mending trade. And I learned my lesson from earlier and instantly bought one this time before he changed his mind and offered me something else. And I also noticed that the other baby villager had grown up, so I turned him into a librarian too and picked up a silk touch book. I went ahead and added the mending book to our pickaxe. I didn't have enough levels to add silk touch, but no worries, we can add it later on. Now that we have mending on our pick, I wanted to go mining for quartz in the Nether, so I prepared a little by making some gold boots and then went right ahead and built up a basic Nether portal. Heading inside, I got a pretty decent spawn, so I ran around and mined quartz until my pickaxe was fully repaired.
It really only took like 5 minutes, so this should be a pretty good method for fixing up our pickaxe whenever we need to. I went back to the overworld but got instantly jump scared by like 20 zombies. I've seriously never seen anything like this before. My 2000 IQ brain told me to quickly pillar up and sleep away the night, which resulted in all of the zombies burning to death. And thanks to the help of our iron golem, I took care of the rest of them that had helmets on. I just hoped that none of our villagers died. But with that crisis averted, I went back to our underground base and continued digging for the next 4 days. Okay, little progress update. I have a pretty good chunk done now, and as you can see, I've already started to plan out some of the different rooms. Seriously though, this is turning into such a big project. Taking a look at some of these chests, you can already see I have so many materials just from digging all of this out. But the craziest part is that this isn't even half done. I want this to be 2 floors, and this is only the first floor dug out. And the most insane part is that the second floor is gonna be even bigger than this one, so let's not waste any time and continue digging. I swear, it looks like I didn't even do anything, but I just spent another 20 or 30 minutes mining, and my pickaxe is about to break again, so let's go repair it. Also, on a completely unrelated note, I have lost our donkey, so hopefully he turns up. Before I forget though, let's just swing by our house and grab, I have my gold boots right here. Let's throw those on, also put our shield in our offhand, and we should be good to go. Let's just jump through the portal. Why am I getting attacked? There's a zombie even in here? What is going on? What? That went right through him. Come on. Okay, this is how it's gonna be? Why is there so many zombies in here? It went through him again. Oh no, what is going on? Get off me. What? There's so many zombies in here, what? Okay, that was kind of crazy, but let's go find some more quartz. Got some right here. I don't know if it would have been faster to like make an iron farm and get a beacon and get wither skulls and everything, but I think this is gonna work anyways for us. We're kind of already too far in at this point, so we'll just keep going with this method. Bridging over lava like this is seriously so scary. Let's just make it to the other side. We need more quartz. Okay, we're good, we're good. Give me all the XP. Why are these ghasts all up on me? Come on. Give me the achievement. Ow. What? Come on. What? What is with these ghasts? Are you kidding me? Come on. It's getting a little embarrassing at this point. Give me... There we go. Okay, pro gamer, pro gamer. This little vein right here should probably be the last of the XP we need. Yeah, sweet. Okay, pickaxe is fully repaired. Let's go head back to the overworld. I really hope there's not zombies on the other side like last time. That was seriously so scary. We good? Okay, we're good. Let's quickly sleep though before any spawn. But with our pickaxe fully repaired, it's time to get back to digging out the giant hole for our underground base. It took nearly 6 entire days mining away with my pickaxe, but I managed to get the entire space cleared out before our pickaxe broke. The hole for our underground base is looking absolutely insane now. It's honestly a little intimidating how big it is, but I'm also really excited to start filling in the entire thing with a bunch of really cool builds. And the next step is going to be making a bunch of pillars, but there is no way that I'm doing that without spruce wood, so it's time for a little adventure to go find some. Before we get too carried away though, let's quickly see if we can make a better axe, because I really don't want to chop all of these trees down with a regular iron one. And luckily I have a few more diamonds left, so let's quickly make a new one here. I also should have some emeralds left over. Yeah, I have 23 here, and I actually have quite a bit more than I thought. Let's maybe see if we can buy a few more books, and then we'll add them to the axe. Let's just grab one of these efficiency 4 books. I think that'll be good for our axe. And then these torches here are for our other villager, so let's grab one of these unbreaking 2 books as well. Heading over to our anvil, we'll combine the 2 books first, and then we'll add them to our axe. Perfect, just like that. I haven't seen any spruce trees yet in this world, so I think let's just pick a random direction and keep on walking. And I've already hit the ocean, so let's make a little pit stop here and craft a boat, and we'll keep on going. This jungle biome here looks awesome, but too bad it's not what we're looking for. It's not spruce, but dark oak is definitely my second favorite wood type, so just while we're here, let's grab some of this as well. Can you not interrupt my dark oak gathering session? Come on now. I was just finishing chopping down some dark oak trees. You can see I have about 7.5 stacks, as well as a bunch of saplings. But just out of the corner of my eye, I spotted what we were after this entire time. Good old spruce wood. So let's not wait and finally chop down this good old spruce. Oh, I love this stuff. It is so good. Oh, I'm so happy that we found this without too much trouble. I was worried we're gonna have to travel like 3,000 blocks or something, but this actually went pretty smoothly. And while we're here, let's just go ahead and chop down as many as we can, because trust me, we're gonna need a lot of spruce wood for this build. It looks like there isn't any large spruce trees in this area, so let's go ahead and plant some of our own, and hopefully these will grow up as I continue to chop down all of the small ones. Choppy, choppy, choppy. It just started to rain and oh, hey chicken. And it's also raining in real life right now, so I think it's about time to check in on my cats. Not you chicken, my cats. I'm gaming like a madman right now, but my two cats, Munchie right here is making biscuits. Make your biscuits. She's vibing. And then little Mittens is just having her, 10th nap of the day. Big yawn. But guys, if you haven't liked the video already, be sure to do it. It really helps out the videos, so I greatly appreciate it. But let's get back to some Minecraft. I just listened back to that and my phone audio is absolutely hot garbage, but anyways, let's keep cutting down some spruce trees. If there's any left, that is. Okay, finally we got one of the large spruce trees, so let's cut this bad boy down. And to save us some time later, I'm also going to strip a bunch of these as I'm going, just because it'll be easier to actually build the underground base later. But let's plant a few more of these big ones, and hopefully another one will grow super soon. Sweet, right on the start of day 44, we got another tree, so let's continue chopping. The trees began growing one after another, so I spent all of day 44 chopping them down, once again stripping a bunch of them along the way to make our lives easier later on. I would continue chopping down more if I could, but as you can see, my entire inventory is completely full of logs. So just to ensure we can grow a bunch back at home if we need to, let's just grab all of these saplings back, and then let's start making our way back to our base. I'm glad we didn't have to travel too far, just gotta make it across this ocean, and we should be super close to home. I think that right there is the shipwreck that we explored back on day 1. Finally, we're back at the village. Let's just try to drop off some of this stuff since my inventory is completely full. Also, it is getting so seriously cramped in here. I am really looking forward to getting all of this inside of the actual underground base. And I was just about to start building it, but low-key, I forgot that I need some oak logs, so let's grab a few of these and then we'll get started on it. I got a little over 6 stacks of oak logs, which should be more than enough, so let's just quickly grab some of these other ones that we gathered earlier, and then we'll get started on the actual underground base. Also, little side note, this sheep is just straight up stuck here by the entrance of our underground base, which is pretty funny, but I think I'm just gonna leave him there. He can be guarding it, I guess. I'm seriously so excited to actually be building something instead of just breaking blocks, so let's finally get started on building up all of these pillars. This should be the last pillar. Ow. Let's just build this one up to, yeah, right there. And you can already see this space is really starting to shape up. We have all these different kind of like sections, I guess you could say, that we can fill with builds. It's still looking a little bare bones though, so I want to get started and actually get some staircases in here so we can easily access the top and bottom tiers. And I think a simple spruce staircase just like this will work perfectly. And let's just throw a torch back here and then fill in this gap with spruce wood. And let's also make sure that we fill in this side as well, just like that. And I left spots for 3 more staircases, so let's just repeat that design a few more times, and it should be looking pretty good for ourselves. All 4 staircases are in, and okay, that's my cat. All 4 staircases are in and looking good, but I just realized that I missed 3 pillars here, so let's quickly place those in before I forget. Crisis averted, and now that we have all of the pillars in, I want to connect the tops of them with some spruce stairs just like this going all the way around. Just getting the last few stairs in, sweet, so we now have a ring going all the way around, and then I just want to start building an actual walkway going off of this. And let's just keep it simple and continue using our spruce wood. It took 50 days, but this area is starting to look like a real underground base instead of just some random hole in the ground. It still needs a lot more love, but let's get started on that right away by making some spruce fences as well as spruce trapdoors.
And let's use them to make a nice railing going all the way around this, just so it looks a little bit more official. Already, that is looking so much better, much more official now. Now that the railing's done, I want to get started on building up a bunch more pillars for the second tier of the base. And of course, I am already out of all of the stripped logs, so we'll just have to strip these ones as we go. This one here should be the last pillar, and already this area is actually looking pretty good. And similar to before, I want to go around the entire thing, just placing our upside down spruce stairs. With every little detail that we're adding, this area is just shaping up more and more. Already, it's starting to look super awesome. The next thing I want to do is patch up these stone holes in the ceiling, but I still haven't managed to get silk touch on our pickaxe because it's too expensive. I have another idea though. First off, let's mine up a bunch of this coal. There's a bunch of it all in the walls, so we should be able to get a bunch super easily. Plus, I think I still have a bunch left over from digging earlier. And then I think this spot here will be the perfect area for a giant wall of furnaces. Okay, that looks kind of crazy, but also kind of cool. You know what? I still have so many furnaces. Let's also just make this section a wall of furnaces as well. You know, why not? This is like mega overkill, but I'm kind of loving it. And now that those are in place, let's go ahead and grab some more cobblestone. That should be more than enough, and we can just put it inside of the furnaces. Alrighty, I have 5 furnaces going with cobblestone in them, so we should be able to patch up these holes in no time. While we wait, I want to head downstairs, and I was thinking this area right here could be the perfect location for a bit of a mine entrance. So let's start digging this out. We've already spent like half the video digging, so we might as well just go ahead and do a little bit more. I ran into a bit of water, but I think that's fine. Let's just do a little bit of a 90-degree turn here and start digging down this way instead. I just made it down to deep slate levels, which is perfect since I want to try getting a decent amount of deep slate as well as tough, but my inventory is completely full, so let's go drop this stuff off and come back. And on our way back up, let's also place down a bunch of cobblestone stairs, just to make it a bit easier to come up and down in the future. Alrighty, let's quickly drop off a bunch of this random garbage. We don't need all of this right now. Now that our inventory is cleared out, let's head back down and try to get a decent amount of tough as well as deep slate. We're already getting a ton of deep slate just from digging down like this, so hopefully we also bump into some tough soon. Sweet, I just manifested it, just found some tough, so let's dig this up as well. Look what I just bumped into, more diamonds. Oh, it's a big one too. As you can see, I mined out quite a bit of space, even dug out a bunch down here, but we now have a bunch of deep slate and a lot of tough blocks. And we also got 7 diamonds as a nice little bonus. But with that in hand, let's head back up to our underground base. Back up at the top, let's just quickly drop off all of this stuff inside of a chest, since I want to use all of our stone to fix up the ceiling before I forget. So it should all just be ready inside of our furnaces here. Might be a little bit tricky. Let's just grab some, do I have some dirt in here? Yeah, let's grab some dirt for some temporary scaffolding. I eventually want to add some extra details to the ceiling, but for now, at least getting it all patched up with just the stone should look a whole lot better. That took less than a minute, but it's already looking so much cleaner. I definitely do need to add some lights to kind of get rid of all this darkness up here, but overall looking pretty good. I just want to make a stone cutter real quick, so let's smelt up some of this raw iron that we got when we were digging down below. We just need 1 iron ingot, so that's good, and let's just run over to our crafting table and craft it up. There we go, stone cutter. And let's go ahead and grab some of our tough blocks from earlier, and then just using our stone cutter, we can turn that into, I want to use some of the polished tough, as well as the tough bricks. We'll just start with that, and we can make more as we go. And my idea is to use both of these blocks together to create a really nice floor design. Something just like this. That's already looking so much better, but as you can see, we also have this area that's kind of dropped down lower. So to make the transition a little bit smoother, I'm just surrounding the entire thing with the polished tough stairs. I'm pretty happy with how that's looking, and for this very lowest section, I want to create a few more borders, but this time using polished deep slate. I have those in place, and it's much easier to see from the top, but as you can see, we have 3 sections, and I want to do this center one as like a big crop field, and these other 2 can be for flowers. Let's start with the crop farm first, and the first step is just going to be filling in this entire section with dirt. That was easy enough, and step 2 is going to be adding some water sources. So I think we'll do one there, one here, and probably just one more right there. I think that should cover the whole area. Just need to add our water, of course. I have one water bucket, so I'll just have to go grab some more real quick. Water source number 2. And water source number 3. I just realized that's not centered. Let me fix that or it will drive me crazy. Okay, that should be fixed. Yeah, okay, we're looking good. And then to cover these, I'm just gonna do a dark oak slab with a polished deep slate wall on top and a lantern. So let's just do that exact same design for this one, as well as the third water source right here. And then of course, we just need to turn all of this dirt into actual farmland. Crop farm is looking good, just need to grab some seeds and actually plant something on it. Swinging by the villager house, I should have a bunch of seeds in here. Yeah, 3 stacks I think should be more than enough. And I also have some carrots in here that we can plant. That'll be awesome. And while we're over here, let's just grab anything else useful that we can. I'll just bring all of this stuff, why not? Might need this redstone. We'll take the gold, the obsidian. I'll take this food too. I'll take some flowers. Might as well bring this wood and the food as well. Let's also bring the rest of these logs with us since we'll probably need them. Ooh, I have a bunch of iron in here too. Definitely taking that. And I'm trying to remember where our silk touch guy is. Is it this dude here? It is. Okay, I'm gonna buy one of these silk touch books. Instead of adding it to our pickaxe, I want to put it on our shovel. And that's just so that we can get a few grass blocks to put down in the base. Okay, before I get too carried away doing who knows what, let's finally fill in this crop field. I'll probably try to make a cool design with the crops later, but for now, let's just put our carrots in the corner. Now that we have grass blocks, let's fill in these smaller sections with it. And then I just want to fill in both of them with rose bushes. And I don't have enough, but luckily we can easily make some more with some bone meal. Adding some greenery was definitely a good option, brought a lot of life into the build. The next thing I want to make is some animal pens over on this side of the base, so let's begin by replacing the floor here with some grass blocks. That's looking pretty good, and the next thing I want to do is just connect the tops of all of these pillars using our stripped spruce logs again. And for a bit of a cleaner look, let's just use our spruce wood again to patch up the ceiling. I'm also trying to add a bit more structure by making it look like some kind of banisters, or I guess like joists or something kind of going across, giving the entire thing a bit more support. Let's fill in this little hole with stone before I forget. We have enough space for 4 different pens, so let's just divide them up using some spruce fences. And then for the front of the pens, let's do a fence on either side with 3 gates in the middle. And then for a cleaner look, let's place down some lanterns and get rid of all of these temporary torches. And let's also add a few lanterns on the ceiling to light up this space even more. Can even do one above the mine entrance, why not? Also, as I'm looking at this, I think a couple of upside down stairs in the corner will really help with that mine entrance look. And you know what? Let's also do an upside down spruce stair in these corners with a few trapdoors, and we'll do the same thing on this side right here. Yeah, that is looking much better, much more put together. Anyway, let's not get too distracted. I think these animal pens are done, so let's go try to find some actual animals to bring inside. I want to try getting all 4 of the different farm animals, so let's start with the chickens. Okay, nobody fall off the bridge, please. Oh, you're so close to the edge. Just come down here. Okay, I think the chickens can just go in this first pen right here. Come on in. Awesome, chickens have been obtained. Okay, there's some cows over here. Let's try to bring these guys over next. I also love these new animal variants. We're in the savannah, so we have the, I guess it'd be the warm cows. There were some sheep over here too, so we can probably bring the cows and the sheep over at the same time. Please, nobody fall off the bridge. Why are they walking so close to the edge? We're good? All 4 are here? Nice. Okay, the hard part now is going to be dividing the sheep and the cows. Okay, cows out, sheep in, please. Stay. Oh, wow. Wait, that was actually so easy. Alrighty, cows, come into this third pen right here. Home sweet home. This is going pretty smoothly. We have our cows, we have our sheep, and our chickens. Just gotta get some pigs. And I think pigs are attracted to carrots, so let's just grab one of those. Okay, little piggies, no falling off the bridge, please. These new warm pigs look so funny. Let's just breed these guys. Why not? I have carrots. First time breeding something too in this world. Let's go. That was so much easier than I thought it'd be. We have the pigs, the cows, the sheep, and the chickens. Alrighty, next order of business, we have got to figure out our storage situation because right now this is totally unmanageable. Okay, so first off, let's make a bunch of planks and then we'll turn this all into our chests. Is that going to be... yeah, that's probably going to be enough. And then I also want to make a bunch of the tough bricks. That should be good. And then I'm thinking we do a storage room kind of on that side as well as on this side. It'll be mirrored and it'll look super satisfying. So let's just start with this one right here. We'll first just kind of fill in some walls using our tough bricks. And let's also just make a wall where this pillar is to kind of divide up these two different sections. So using the pillar as like a divider, we kind of have two sections within the larger section of the storage system. And then of course, we just need to add a bunch of chests. The first side is done. Let's go repeat the same design on this side. Once again, we'll just start by patching up the walls with our tough bricks, and then we'll add all of our chests. Just putting in the last few chests, and that is looking pretty good. The one thing you might have noticed is that there's a bit of a gap here, and that's because I want to place glowstone in there, so it's time for a quick trip into the Nether. This place stresses me out so much, but it has to be done. Also, I guess a couple of our villagers decided to take a trip out here, so good luck. Already I found a bunch of glowstone, which is perfect. I found a bit more here, so I'll just get this too just in case, but that should be more than enough. Okay, I got like 5 stacks of glowstone dust, which should be plenty, but just while we're here, let's try to find some quartz and repair our pickaxe. Alrighty, pickaxe is fully repaired. Let's get out of here. This place scares me way too much. Home sweet home, and now that we're here, let's turn some of this glowstone dust into actual glowstone, and then just place it down in this gap to fully finish our storage area. I guess it's not really finished because we still need to bring all of the items over from our temporary chests and put them into the actual storage system. And to make things a bit more organized, let's just go ahead and make a bunch of signs so that we can label the chests as we go. I just spent a couple of days organizing all these items and I finally got this mess up here cleaned up. While we're at it, let's also swing by the villager house and bring all of these items over as well. Finally got this house all cleared out. Let's go drop off the last of the items. Just have one more item to put away, and with that, our storage system is all organized. This thing is definitely overkill. I didn't even have to use that side at all, and I still have some empty chests over on this side. But as you can see, everything is nicely organized. We have like oak up there, saplings here, all of our ores. You get the idea, but it's all nicely put away, so we're ready to keep working on some other projects now. On the morning of day 69, I noticed most of our crops had grown, so I spent a minute harvesting everything. After replanting, I used the wheat to breed the cows and the sheep. And while I was at it, I sheared the sheep too. I then ran back to the village since I had left my anvil there and added a silk touch book that I still had to a diamond pickaxe. I also wanted to try and get Fortune 3 on a pickaxe, so I traded sticks with a Fletcher for more emeralds and then started rerolling trades with an unemployed villager I found. Just like earlier, it took way too long, but eventually I got a Fortune 3 book. It was too expensive to add to my main pickaxe, so I had to make another new one and add it to that one. So we're just kind of wielding 3 picks at once right now, but it is what it is. I checked in on our animals again, bred them, and then made my way down underground. There's a bunch of farms I want to build inside of our base, and after doing the math, I'm going to need around 9 stacks of iron, so it's time to lock in and get to mining. At least we have Fortune on a pickaxe now, which should really help speed up the process. I also bumped into some diamonds, so we of course had to pick those up too. And right beside the diamonds, there was a geode, so I took a minute to grab some smooth basalt, calcite, and amethyst clusters. I think we can probably use them to decorate the base. As I was pillaring up to another cave to get more iron, a skeleton shot me, and after falling to the ground, I got down to just 2 hearts. Luckily, I was able to hide and heal back up before I died. It was a pretty noob mistake to not have water in my hotbar, and we should also try to get feather falling soon too. That was really close, but anyway, I carefully carried on and continued mining all the iron I could find. And I locked in for all of day 74 as well and continued mining up a ton of iron. Once again, I bumped into a couple more diamonds, so you already know I picked those up. I continued mining until I got about 10 stacks of raw iron and then made my way back up to our base. It cost us a few days and almost our life, but this should hopefully be all the iron that we need. And with that finally obtained, I started smelting it all in our giant wall of furnaces. While waiting, I dyed some of the sheep light gray, bred them, and sheared them. I'm just trying to stockpile some wool so that we can make carpets and paintings later. And let's breed the cows too, since we're going to need a lot of leather to make an enchanting room. The iron was still smelting, so while we waited, I crafted some redstone lamps, a variety of dark oak blocks, and a few levers. The ceiling was looking really plain, so I used those blocks to add a nice looking pattern and lit up the entire thing using the lamps. I didn't want anything too distracting, so I think this was a good option. On day 77, the iron was finally done smelting, so I grabbed it out of the furnaces. With a ton of iron on hand, I crafted some lanterns, hung a few from the ceiling, and placed the rest along the railing that goes around the upper walkway. After that, I crafted some smokers as well as blast furnaces. We still have a ton of room on this wall, so we might as well go ahead and continue our furnace madness by filling a section with the blast furnaces and another one with the smokers. Even though it's not really the most creative design ever, I think it looks oddly satisfying for some reason. I began day 78 by taking care of our chores, which is of course harvesting the crops and breeding the animals. Once that was taken care of, I crafted some cauldrons as well as trapdoors so that we can set up a lava farm. And I think right in between our furnaces will be the perfect location. I built 2 identical designs in a simple industrial style, which I think fits the vibe of this area. Just missing one last thing though, the actual lava. I took a trip into our mine and luckily I found some in no time. Back at our base, I placed it in the farm. And we'll just continue to fill in the rest of the farm as it continues to generate more lava. I felt like I'd been doing a lot of grindy stuff lately, so I started day 79 by building a nice decoration for our base, a custom geode. It really ties into the underground base aesthetic and adds a bit more color to the area. After that, it was time for a little adventure since there's some blocks I want to use that we don't have yet. So first off, I dug up some clay that I found in a nearby river. After that, I came across a jungle, so I picked up a little bit of bamboo. And I already have some, but I also picked up any more sugarcane that I spotted. I then made my way over to a mesa where I mined up several stacks of terracotta. With that taken care of, I headed to a nearby desert I had spotted and gathered a decent amount of sand. I was pretty sure that was everything we needed, at least for now, so I made my way back home. Once we got to our base, I turned all of the clay blocks we gathered into clay balls. Not exactly sure why I even used silk touch on this stuff to begin with. Anyway, I put the clay as well as some sand into our furnaces, and while waiting, I expanded the lava farm and then bred the animals once again. I can't believe it's already day 82, it still feels like we have so many empty spaces to fill in, but I guess that's all the more reason to get straight to work. So without wasting any time, let's start filling in a bunch of these walls with terracotta, as I think it'll blend in nicely with all of the spruce wood. And it looks like all of our stuff is done smelting, so let's grab these bricks, and these ones should have, some glass in them, that is perfect. And now that we have some glass, I want to turn this entire wall over here into a giant sugarcane farm. So let's quickly craft the rest of the stuff that we're going to need. Pretty sure we're going to need some hoppers. I think we just need 30 of those, just like that. And then we're also going to need some observers. I think 30 of those as well, so we'll go like that, and there we go, 30 observers. Definitely going to need some pistons, so let's make those next, and I think we also are going to need 30 of those. And I think the last thing is just a few bottles so that we can make some mud. Alrighty, let's actually start building this thing. We'll do a double chest right there, and then a couple of stairs, and we should be able to just access this easily, and I want all the sugarcane to come right into here. And the way we're going to do that is with some hoppers, so we'll have a couple going in like that, and then we just need to extend this going all the way down. Same thing on this side, we'll just go hoppers all the way down, making sure that they're feeding into each other. The hoppers are all in place, so the next step is to just place dirt on top of all of them. The dirt is all in place, so I'm just creating a bit of a chute where we can put some water. Now that we have some water here, it'll be super easy to just convert all of this dirt into mud using a water bottle. For a bit of a cleaner look, let's do a row of spruce planks here, and let's also put some behind all of these pillars. The next step is to add all of the pistons, which will destroy the sugarcane. And then above all of the pistons, let's place an observer. And then behind all of these, let's do a row of blocks with some redstone dust on top. That's pretty much all the redstone done, so let's just patch up some of these gaps with spruce wood to get the whole thing looking a little bit cleaner. And similar to what we did on the other side, let's do some rows of slabs like this, and then we can light up the area using some lanterns. That's pretty much the farm done, so let's go ahead and add all of the sugarcane. And just so that stuff doesn't go flying all over the place, let's fill in this gap with some glass. And I think a row of upside down polished deep slate stairs will look pretty clean. But with that, the farm is done. We just have to wait for this stuff to grow, and then it'll all come right into this chest here. And while we're working in this area, let's also fix up this ugly looking spot right here. And let's just start by patching up this wall right here with some spruce, just keeping it nice and simple. That's looking much better. Let's also patch this up just using our stone. And then to light this area up, let's make use of our redstone lamps again. And then I inset it 1 block so that we can add a flower pot, and let's just put a dandelion in there. And then just to fill out this wall a little bit more, let's create a small table using scaffolding and birch stairs, and then we can place a pressure plate on top of that, and above, let's make a small shelf. And on top of the shelf, we can do a flower pot with an oak sapling in it and a double chest. It's pretty simple, but I think that looks a whole lot better. Let's get rid of this temporary torch though. Yes, much better. And let's just keep it simple by pretty much repeating that exact same design on this side as well. Alrighty, that's all in place. I did switch up a couple of the decorations, but it's pretty much the exact same design. This hallway area is still looking pretty empty, so I want to use the wool that we've been collecting to create a giant rug. And we should have a bunch in here, just going to be using the gray wool and the light gray wool. Just gotta turn it all into carpets though. And then I'm thinking we just go for a simple kind of checker pattern going all the way down. Okay, yeah, I really like how that looks. It's pretty subtle, but it definitely helps fill out the space a bit more. And you know what? We might as well just go ahead and repeat the exact same design on this side as well. The rug is in place on this side as well, looking very nice, but pretty much for this level of the base, we just have this room to go. So let's get right to it by first just patching it up using some spruce planks. And then similar to what we did on the other side, let's place some levers here, turn those on, and then we'll do our redstone lamps. And then for this one, let's just do a flower pot with some crimson roots in it. And we still don't have an infinite water source in our base, so I was thinking this location could work out pretty nicely. And for even more functionality, I want to turn this into a bit of a bamboo farm, so let's remove the ground and replace this with some dirt. And then on top of that, we can just plant some bamboo, and if we ever need more, we can just come down here and easily chop some down. I just dotted a little bit of glow lichen around, but with that done, I'm pretty sure this first level of the base is fully complete. And to celebrate, let's do something super fun and breed the cows. Also, I want to use some red carpet soon, so let's dye a bunch of these sheep red, and of course, shear them for their wool. It's kind of crazy in here, a little chaotic. And I just remembered that I'm also going to need a bit of blue wool as well. But with that taken care of, I think it's about time that we make ourselves a bedroom. I mean, it's only day 87, it kind of took us long enough. Put some glowstone here, a couple of dirt blocks, and then we can try to do a painting. Don't really like that one. Not too in love with that one. Yeah, I like the wither one, that one's pretty cool. And then on the back wall, let's place a crafting table on either side and some barrels in the middle. Above that, let's make a shelf out of spruce slabs, and on this side we'll put a leaf block, on that side as well, and then in the middle let's do some flower pots, just with some saplings in them. And then we'll do an absolute jumbo bed. I mean, let's be real, I am all alone, but hey, you know what, maybe someday somebody will join me. Probably not though. Jokes aside, I think this is actually a pretty cozy bedroom, pretty happy with that. Just one more thing, I actually just want to put a row of slabs right here. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay, I think this next one is going to be a lot of fun. I want to turn this entire space into an aquarium. So let's start with a row of upside down spruce stairs in between the bottom of the pillars. And then I'm thinking we just fill in the rest of the space with some sand. And then to make it a bit more interesting, I just added a few smooth sandstone stairs and a bit more sand just to bring up the terrain a little bit. And I want to light up the entire thing, so let's remove those blocks and then just do a row of glowstone going all the way down. And then let's add a row of glass here. I'll eventually fill in the entire thing, but I just want to start adding the water like layer by layer. So we can start that right now actually. Just making sure to waterlog all of these slabs so there's no weird pockets of air. I had to dig a hole above the tank to actually get this thing filled in without flooding our entire base. But with that, let's add a bit of bone meal down here just for a bit of greenery. If we ignore the dirt staircase, I think this is actually looking pretty good. So let's go get some fish and add them to the tank. There should be a river just up here. Yeah, I think I see it. So let's see if we can find some fish. Just found a salmon. Let's get this guy. Come back here. Sweet. Oh, I'm drowning. Okay, I see a few more salmon here. Let's get one of these guys. Alrighty, let's add these guys to the tank. Boop and boop. Well, that's super cute, just seeing them in the tank like this, but let's go try to get a couple more, I think. Okay, there's a bunch more salmon here. Get over here, get over here. Got a couple more fish for the tank here. Boop and boop. And I think 4 fish will be good, so let's patch this back up. It's super fun having some fishy friends in here now. Definitely added a bit of movement and life to the build. Really happy with this one. I was thinking beside our aquarium, we could do a simple armor display. So let's make a bit of a base using deep slate. And then on top of that, let's place a bunch of armor stands. I didn't really have any special armor to display, but I think the alternating gold and iron looks pretty sick. And I was thinking beside the armor stands, we could display some maps. So let's grab some sugarcane for paper. We'll run over here, grab some redstone. We'll need some iron. Let's go ahead and make a bunch of compasses. Turn the sugarcane into some paper, and then use the paper to turn all of our compasses into some empty maps. Beside our armor display, I was thinking we could make a map of the area. So let's just remove these 9 blocks right here and replace them with glowstone. And then we'll just place item frames on those. And then let's reveal a map right where we are, just like so. And then let's have this one as the center. So we just need to reveal the rest of these 8 empty maps to get the rest of this filled in. Next one should be right here. Next one here. Boop. I'm kind of worried that I messed this up, but we'll find out. Let's try to place all of these down. Second row right here, and third row. And I messed it up. I made 2 of the same rows. I don't even know how I did that. Okay, time to make 3 new maps. No way, I just found our donkey while making the last of the maps. Let's go! Got our donkey back. I'm actually so hyped about that. For now, let's just put our donkey in with our chickens. There's plenty of space in here, so he's vibing. Anyway, hopefully I actually did this correctly this time. Let's take a look. Yeah, okay, that looks right. But I think that's pretty nice, just having a little map of our area inside of our base. Definitely a nice little touch. In this empty spot beside our map, I was thinking we could do sort of like a little storage area. So let's make a shelf out of dark oak and a little bit of a higher one using spruce trapdoors. On the top shelf, let's do a cartography table, a stone cutter. We can do a flower pot with a cornflower in it and a double chest. And then on the bottom, let's add another flower pot, a loom, smithing table, and grindstone. Just all those kind of functional blocks that are nice to have around. But with that in place, this entire wall here is completely filled in and looking super awesome. Okay, the next thing I want to make is our enchanting room, so let's grab some obsidian. I have a couple of books in here already. We'll need this paper as well. Gonna need a bunch of wood. I think I can just use some of this dark oak. Heading over to our sugarcane farm. Hopefully, I don't have a whole lot in here because I used a bunch of it to make maps, so I might not actually have enough to make 15 bookshelves. That's great. We can figure out the sugarcane issue later. For now, let's at least get all the leather that we need. Okay, with that in hand, let's go ahead and make our enchanting table. That's awesome. And let's turn all of the sugarcane into paper, and then we'll make as many books as we can. Yeah, we're gonna still need a decent amount of sugarcane so we can make more paper. We only have enough to make 6 bookshelves. That's not gonna cut it. I guess in the meantime, let's just use a bunch of chiseled bookshelves and then we'll replace them as we can. And I was thinking right beside our geode would be a good spot for it, so let's just go ahead and put a row of dark oak stairs. And then we can go ahead and fill in the rest of the ground just with some dark oak planks. And then in both of these corners, let's do some spruce planks with ladders on them. And then in the middle, let's do our enchanting table, and then we'll surround this with as many bookshelves as we can. The rest for now will just have to be the chiseled bookshelves, but that's all right. Yeah, it's definitely looking a little weird with those chiseled bookshelves, but let's just roll with it for now and hide some lighting up in the ceiling just using some spruce trapdoors. We'll swap these out with bookshelves as we can, but for now, happy to call this enchanting room done. I can't believe it's already day 95. I seriously need to lock in right now if I have any chance at getting this all done in time. But with that said, let's get started on our nether portal, and I'm just going to be using the redstone lamps again. We'll do one there, and just another one right here if I can get the lever in there. Just got to flip it, sweet. And good, yep. And then back here, we'll just put some polished deep slate I think will look nice. And then we can put the actual nether portal just kind of in this spot right here. I think I have enough. Yes, perfect amount. That's actually awesome. And then just to kind of disguise the portal, let's do some polished deep slate there as well. And right here, and then at the bottom, we'll do some stairs. Up top, we'll do more of the full blocks, and then just a row of slabs just like that. And then for a little bit of decoration beside the portal, let's do some grass blocks enclosed with some oak trapdoors, and on top we can do some bushes. And then let's just repeat that exact same design, some grass, oak trapdoors, and 3 more bushes. And then all that's left to do is just light up the portal. It actually fits the space pretty well, but the sad part is that I need to go back in there because I am almost completely out of glowstone. Can't believe we're going back in here. Let's just get what we need and get out. Oh, here's our villagers again. What's up, guys? Let's just get some glowstone and get out of here as fast as possible. I got about a stack and a half of glowstone. I am really hoping that's enough. Let's go back home. We made it back with no issues. We are chilling, thank goodness. Let's quickly get more of this red wool. We're gonna need quite a bit of it. Now that we have a bunch of glowstone, let's go ahead and fill in all these walls near the entrance of the base using it. And then right at the bottom, let's make a simple shelf using dark oak slabs. And then we can simply go ahead and cover the glowstone with some of these really nice new paintings. Paintings are all in place and looking nice. Unfortunately, there is only 2 different kinds with this size, so there's a few repeats, but overall, I think I'm okay with it. And then we can further decorate these shelves with some flower pots, and inside of them, I just want to put some saplings in both the dark oak and regular oak varieties. Let's place some flower pots here as well, and we'll just do the same thing, some dark oak saplings with some oak saplings in the middle. Just adds a nice little pop of green. For these 2 walls on either side of the entrance, let's switch it up a little bit by using some terracotta instead. And then similar to before, let's hide a lever back there and put a redstone lamp. And then at the bottom, we'll do the same design we did near the nether portal, some grass blocks with bushes on top, and then just enclose the entire thing with some oak trapdoors. And let's repeat the exact same design over here. So we'll start with our terracotta, just like so. Get ourselves up a little bit, dig this out, do a lever, do a redstone lamp, grass block, grass block, grass block, 3 bushes, and a few trapdoors. Let's fix up the actual entrance now, and the first thing I want to do is just replace the bottom of these pillars with some barrels, just to make it kind of look like there's a little bit of a band or something around it. Just looks a little bit more reinforced. I'm not sure why I haven't done this already, but let's place down some stairs just so that it's easier to get up and down. Yeah, that is so much easier. We should have done that a long time ago. And then let's just patch up some of this stone, just try to make it look maybe a little bit more natural. I wanted to terraform this entire area, but honestly, it's day 98. I don't think I'm gonna have time to do exactly what I wanted, but we can at least get it looking a little bit better. And we can't build up too much terrain, otherwise Mr. Sheep will escape. For one final detail, and to help light up the area, let's just place a couple more redstone lamps flush with the wall. It's not the grandest of entrances, but it's what's on the inside that counts. And I just want to quickly check if we have any more sugarcane. Okay, nice, almost a whole stack. Let's turn this into paper, make more bookshelves, and expand our enchanting area. I also just remembered that I have a bit of sugarcane in here as well. And with those combined, I had enough to make 11 bookshelves, which should be enough for a level 30 enchanting setup, which is actually really nice. Let's just replace these ones as well, and that is looking so much better. And we are level 30, so we might as well go ahead and enchant something. I would like to get feather falling, or is there anything good for... Yeah, I'll take a looting 2 sword. Sharpness 3, looting 2, you know what, not bad. I just realized that that was a level 24 enchant, not 30. Whoops. I guess I need to move some of these bookshelves lower and maybe put some in the corners back there, but whatever, I can do that later. There is no way that it is already day 99, the time is just flying by. Okay, these guys are all pushing me around, but I'm just trying to shear all of these red sheep so that we can make some red carpet. And we've been stockpiling a good amount as well, so let's just turn this all into carpets. We'll turn this into carpets as well. And then let's just go ahead and place it pretty much going around the entire top walkway, just to add some nice color into the build. We had just 2 carpet left over after all of that, but I think this added a really nice highlight just kind of going around the entire thing and just helped break up all of the spruce. One last thing we can do before it's day 100 is expand our lava farm. I've kind of been neglecting this, sort of forgot about it to be honest, so let's just try to spread it out a little bit. I want to do a tour of everything on day 100, so let's go ahead and kind of just organize our items a little bit and get prepared to take a look at everything that we've built. Here we are on day 100. I had to throw the shaders on as I think it's gonna look super cool down there, but of course we have our little sheepy guy guarding the entrance. I kind of wish I could have done more with this entrance, made the bridge a bit better, done some more terraforming, but overall I think it's okay. Carrying on with the tour, let's head down here, and I just have to say it is looking absolutely epic with the shaders on. And around the entrance, I mean, we just built it, but you can see we have a bunch of paintings with a bunch of, flower pots and other little greenery bits, making it nice and welcoming as you come on in. Over in this corner, we have our aquarium that is full of salmon. I sort of wish that we added some other fish in here or other details, but this entire video, I was just so tight on time trying to get everything done, so this is kind of the best that I could do. Right next to that, we have our alternating armor stands here with the gold and the iron. If we found more kind of cool armor in this world, definitely would have displayed it here, but this is still looking pretty nice. Next to our armor, we have a map of the area, which doesn't really show much considering everything is built, underground, but that's their little bridge to kind of come into our base, and it's kind of nice just to have an overview of the surrounding area. The next module is just some kind of random little storage and whatnot, all those little functional blocks that are just kind of nice to have around. This next one is one of my favorites, a small little custom geode, which I think turned out super fun. Next to that, we of course have our enchanting table, which I think turned out nice, especially once we got more bookshelves in here, really helped with the overall look. In the center of this wall, we have our Nether portal. I really like the darker kind of border going around it with the deep slate, but it also does contrast nicely with the terracotta and the bushes here. Our bedroom is also really nice and cozy, couple of paintings on the wall, and of course the big jumbo bed with a bit of greenery on the wall looks really nice. This wall here is kind of what I'm calling the smelting wall, since we have all of the different furnace types, plus a couple of lava farms. And unfortunately, I kind of neglected these things. I think they're only maybe like a quarter filled in each of them, but oh well, what are you gonna do? That pretty much covers the top floor, and then of course there's like 4 different ways to get down to the bottom level, which is really nice, really easy to kind of run around here and get to the different areas. In the center of the room, we have some crop fields, and I just alternated the wheat and carrots for a really nice satisfying design. And we also have our little flower patches, which don't really serve any function, but they added some nice color, so I'm glad we put them in. Over in this corner, we have our bamboo farm. I was originally planning on this being a brewing area, but I'll be real with you, I was kind of too scared to go explore a fortress. This entire wall here was for our animals, so we have our pigs, our cows, our sheep, and of course our chickens, and I just threw our donkey in there just so he had somewhere to be. And then right next to that, we have our mine entrance. This thing was super handy to have right here, got a lot of good resources down there. Right in the center of the room, we of course have a bunch of storage. I still haven't even used any of the chests over on that side, so it is a lot of storage. And then one of the last things to look at is our sugarcane farm here. It's a pretty decent sized one, honestly. Already we have 39 in there. We just emptied it like a couple of days ago, so it's a pretty good one. And then I probably could have done more with these kind of rooms on either side, but I just added the lamps and kind of a little seating area with some storage. I think it's a nice decoration and helped fill out the space. And then we pretty much repeated the exact same thing over on this side, but once again, I still think it looks pretty nice. But I think that pretty much covers everything. This base turned out so amazing. I had so much fun building it. But as always, if you want to explore it for yourself, you can get the world download on my Patreon or by becoming a YouTube member. But with that said, I think we should sleep away the night, and with that, we have survived all 100 days. Thank you so much for watching, and happy building.